Welcome back, folks. I got an interesting concoction of content today. If you remember from one of my recent shorts, my friend, right now he's a friend in air quotes, Dave, sent me 200 valve cores. I let him borrow a valve core. By borrow, I mean permanently keep. And he sent me 200 to be a jerk because I was giving him a hard time about it. Anyway, I don't know where I just put his. Oh, yeah, his are in here. So I'm going to give him 100. His diabolical plan worked. Some other stuff I need for this tire install. It's also an absolute disaster over there, so judge me. And then I'm just cutting some of these out that I'm going to leave in vehicle. So I'll leave some in the car, the truck, and a couple for the bike. I'm going to get some use out of them at least. I'm going to have more than I'll ever need in my life, but that is what it is. Then we need to find the oil leak on this car. And unfortunately, after I installed my Mishimoto oil cooler, the friggin' spacer block, sandwich plate they call it, between the oil filter and the oil filter housing, which is where the coolant lines go in, there's a leak, and it's in the threaded. There's a pipe thread fitting on the back of the sandwich plate for really no reason. I don't see any reason why they need that plug there. And it leaks, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to finally seal that up. And we'll go from there. So stay tuned. We just dropped them in here. It's amazing the vibration, how it wears out this thick, like, denim-y bag. Anyway, this is our spare toolkit in the truck, or the bike, or our emergency toolkit, I should say. So we got one in there. And what other zipper is hiding? Nice. Another thing we need to do, we need to fix these saddlebags. So we got a little saddlebag droop going on because I never tightened this back up correctly when I took the sissy bar off. So we'll take our screw out. Oh, she was very much not tight, so I'm kind of glad we're doing this, or we would have eventually lost that screw. And then all we need to do, adjusting here, folks. Stay tuned. Something like that. So in order to tighten this sandwich plate bolt, we need a specially modified Allen head. Super low profile. So I had cut one down and it fits great. We just gotta get under there and give it a half a turn and see what happens. Alright, so you can see where all this oil is on here. We're going to do some inspecting. And actually, I gotta look and see where this is coming from now. So I'm not so sure if it is coming from that fitting. Let's see. Yeah, maybe not anymore. Okay, so if we look above the sandwich plate, it looks pretty dry. That corner doesn't look so hot. Okay, I'll hose that baby down. Okay, so we've got this all cleaned up. And I'm going to start the engine and see if we can find this stupid leak. See what happens. Alright, so we're running. And we're looking. See what we see. Hey guys, I just had something happen I've never had happen. This jack is a little weak. And it let down. I have the jack stand under there fully. So it's no problem, but it just shifted the car ever so slightly because I wasn't like quite fully on the jack stands. And this is why you use jack stands, people. I literally would have had a car falling on me if it wasn't for the jack stands. Again, not a big deal. I just left the jack tensioned underneath the car because that's like a good thing to do, have a third point of contact, but that scared me a little bit. It's coming from that plug. See it? Coming from our favorite little plug. So we'll tighten her up. Okay, so right now it is not leaking. I just cranked it down more. It was kind of loose, I guess. I don't know. This thing feels like it has no bottom. It's a pipe thread fitting, so it really doesn't. It's very strange. But anyway, it's not leaking. I'm gonna roll out from under here. I'm gonna let that friggin' thing sit for like 10 minutes idling. I don't even care. I want this damn thing to stop leaking. So we're just gonna let it sit there and idle, and then I'll crawl back under there and check it out. I'm also gonna let it sit turned off, because that's when I usually notice the leak, right? Because it kind of depressurizes the system and lets it drip. So let's see. A couple minutes in, and the verdict is, I don't think it's leaking. Let me get my flashlight out. Still no leak. Good. Let's keep letting her idle. All right, so we've waited a bunch of time. She's still leak free. So we're gonna call that good for now, and we'll check it when we change the oil in a couple thousand miles. I'm gonna leave this grease here. It'll eventually burn off in the rain and stuff now that it's not leaking. There's really not all that much on the frame and trans. It really won't hurt anything. It's all just metal components. If there's a lot of oil on rubber parts, I would probably take care of it. But yeah, so that's good. Now we're going to get the car out of the way and clean this garage up a little bit. All right, so the car leak seems to be fixed. We got crazy hair going on again. And I just started getting a couple things ready on the bike. We're supposed to go for a ride today. It is, however, raining slightly. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I did get my microphone set up, wired up for the helmet cam. And I'm going to work on dialing this in. It doesn't look the best, but if it's functional, that's honestly what I'm more concerned about. We'll go from there. Alright folks, we're getting ready for a nice little ride here. Fortunately, the weather has not really fully cooperated the way I'd like it to. I don't know if you can tell in my background, but the ground's a little bit wet. However, Mama didn't raise no person who doesn't ride when the roads are a little wet. The weather's looking really good for the rest of the day. The sun's supposed to peek out at some point for us. So we're gonna suit up and send it. All right, Luke. What are we doing today on the old Dyna? The Dyna.
You know, as they say, your typical Harleys leak all over the floor, and if you check out the floor, they would be right about that.
I'm gonna show you the spot where she was sitting. We put the other motorcycle here, but that's where the Dyna was. Ironically enough, this is parked now over that spot. But she was leaking a little bit, so we're gonna fix her up. Actually, that's evidence too, I think, of her leaking.
Come on over, check her out. The old primary, you do the finger swipage.
So why does this happen? Like, what's just the gasket? What's going on?
So this one, in the mid-crisis of Daytona, had to replace a starter.
That's right.
So I had to take the primary off, and I just reused the gasket because I couldn't get one. So
yeah.
Tonight, we're going to fix that problem. We're going to take the primary off, put a new gasket on it, new fluid. Should be good to go.
Heck yeah. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to be washing the old Harley Davidson Sportster when we get when she cools down a little bit. She's still a hot girl, so we'll give her a minute. I can get started on the wheels first, and then we'll get all of this road grime and absolute disgust off of this poor motorcycle before Laconia. All right. Is she sealed?
She's all sealed up. Doesn't look like it because, you know, we just fast forward to the next clip.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's nobody wants to see the in-between. They just want to see results. Where's your peg, bub?
Peg's about to go on.
Oh my gosh.
Old gas.
Where was it actually leaking from? Where was the dead spot? From reuse. That bolt right there?
That's all boogered up. That's boogered up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Supposed to replace them after every
on and offage. We got the old Harley Davidson Sportster, nice and clean. Look at her. Oh my gosh, she's never looked better. Never looked better. Other than the day she came from the factory before I completely messed this thing up, but that's aside the point.